they're providing the elegant solution with the picture within picture ideal. They don't have to check every transaction since the beginning of the network to verify correctness. They're only looking at very small pieces, and it's already been verified before. So they're verifying obviously using the ZK Snark technology. It makes it really easy to run a node, right? So again, it's just very lightweight version of like kind of like Bitcoin or proof of stake. They specifically use Ouroboros, which is from ADA. So we're talking about proof of stake here. So I just think it's a really good shot. Let's look at some of the economics white paper, see what's, just so we can dive a little bit deeper on this concept. The block producers are incentivized by product. The block producers are incentivized by protocol distributions in the form of block rewards or Coinbase transactions, as well as network fees paid by users. So it's kind of similar to every other blockchain. In addition to directly staking, individuals can delegate their stake. So they have the staking feature and delegation staking, which is obviously a good thing for every blockchain most of the time. This allows the delegate to stake but not send transactions. It's great. So there's a couple ways, right? They have verifiers, they have block producers, and then they have the snarkers, right? And the snarkers are network participants who produce ZK snarks that verify transactions. They are compensated by posting fees for doing so called bids. And if their snarks are used in a block, the block producer pays out those fees in the form of total transaction fees or whatever. So it's a little bit different from a regular, blockchain, considering they have the snarkers, but it just adds another layer of security and makes this whole thing possible, right? One thing I do see that they keep touching on, and this is actually what I thought it was before back in the day. Excuse me, I'm not a developer, but ZK Snark's censorship resistance, right? It turns out can be included in a block if you just pay a high enough fee on Bitcoin. But with them, they have this censorship resistant technology, which is used with Zcash, right? So Zcash uses ZK Snarks as well. So it gives you that extra element of privacy. So this is kind of the life cycle of a Mana transaction. A verify executes a transaction and enters the mempool. If you guys don't know what the mempool is, it's basically the pool of transactions that miners accept. So basically, when you're looking at Ethereum, they have like this pool, right? Let's say you submit a transaction to send your Ethereum from here to here. Technically, the people that run the blockchain, the miners, they don't have to pick your transaction if they don't want to. They can pick the highest, most profitable transaction, right? And this mempool, it's kind of like the past is in this pool, and they can essentially hand select what they want. That's just an explanation of that. It's like the memory pool, right? It's gossip through the network, right? And then snark workers are making proofs for their unstaked TXSs, right? Next, a block producer is selected to produce a block, right? Randomly through the lottery, just like any other blockchain. They look at their local mempool, see what's the most profitable. They get what's the most profitable. We just explained that. They add the snarks to the block, which is a different stage that we are not used to. It's a little bit different than Bitcoin, right? They're adding these snarks as well. And then the block producer looks at the snark order book for each TX and purchases the lowest fee snarks. The fee that the snarks provide, they purchase it to include it in the block. And then I just don't want to bore you guys to death, but they have their own order book, and then it corresponds to, they basically verify it in comparison to the other snarks to make sure it's legitimate. And then they just kind of go from there. Update the blockchain indefinitely, right, with the block producer. But the one difference is there is the snarks, right? All the, I guess you can say, computational power doesn't have to go and updating the whole entire blockchain. They could just use the snarks to verify that. So it's very interesting stuff here. They also have a couple ways to making money. You could be a snarker or a block producer, and it's just very similar to everything else. And here's some of the transaction fees you could potentially make.